There are many ways of coming up with aquascapes. For this aquascape, I decided to take two separate concepts and smush them together. My first idea was to use fairy gardens as my main focal point for this tank. If you've been in the gardening world, you know what a fairy garden is, and I just love how whimsical they are, and that's what really drew me to using this idea. The second concept is something I'm a little more scared of, is Dutch aquascapes. And I've never done a Dutch aquascape before, but looking at all these pictures online, it looks really intimidating because they're so luscious and vibrant. But I'm going to attempt this, and I'm going to attempt this without CO2. Believe it or not, this is the real live screen recording of when I was coming up with a concept for the fairy garden aquascape. I held on to this footage for a whole year until it was the right time to make this idea reality. Back then, a year ago, I didn't really know too much about stem plants. So while I was drawing this up, there was a lot of back and forth of looking at Google images of certain stem species and then going back to the picture and drawing them in. So I cut all that out so you don't get a headache. It's a lot of back and forth. I really wanted to capture the essence of a Dutch aquascape, and to me, that means a lot of color and a lot of luscious growth. And I was a little worried. I've never used red plants in an aquascape before this, and I wasn't even sure if they would stay red when not using CO2. There was a point where I was worried that this wouldn't even come out the way I wanted it to look, and I did have a backup plan in my mind of using more terrarium looking plants. Like they would be aquatic plants, but they just looked more terrestrial, like Hygrophila pinnatifida, but thankfully this actually all worked out. You'll see in the final product that it doesn't come out exactly, but this was just the rough cut of what I was envisioning in my mind. It's been almost 3 months, and this is what the tank looks like now. You can see the Monte Carlo carpet is still slowly growing in, but eventually we'll reach a full Monte Carlo carpet. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the video on how I put together this tank. See you in the next one.